My name is Ayush Yadav, and today I'm going to show you how I use ChatGPT to contribute to open source. So this was my first pull request. It was not like I have not tried it before. I've tried to contribute to Firefox before, but I was not able to set up the project. And I found this issue, got it assigned to me, and started working on it. But I was not able to set up the project locally on my PC. So in the end, I kind of gave up on it. Then I saw like recently GSOC is coming, people are contributing, and my resume wasn't that good, so I thought open source contribution would make it a bit better. By seeing other people, what I learned that you can just go to GSOC organization page and find good organization. When you watch a video on open source contribution, some things are very common. Firstly, it's like you are supposed to search for an organization, then you search for an issue, what issue you want to solve, then you try to get it assigned to you, and then you start working on it. To work on it, you first set up the project locally, you start working on it, and you make your changes, you commit the code, make a PR, hopefully it will get merged. That's how it works. And in between, if you need any help, you set up communication, contact them through Slack or other communication platform, whichever they have. So first of all, for selecting organization, just search for GSOC organization. So I went to this page and look for organization I can contribute to. Then I found this X dot organization. So I came to this page and thought how to contribute to this. This page was pretty long. So what I did was I copied this whole code and then pasted it to ChatGPT. Why ChatGPT? Because it will summarize it for me. I don't want to read it all. It looks very complicated. Well, not actually that complicated, but still I'm lazy. So I just asked ChatGPT, summarize this in easy to understand language, and it did it pretty good. And then I had a question how to apply. So I asked it. And similarly, I asked and asked, and then realized after looking and going through the projects that I cannot contribute to this because it's a pretty complicated project. So I removed this one. Then I searched for Kotlin because I work on Kotlin and find this organization. Again, I used ChatGPT for summary of it. Got a description again. Then I realized that GSOC organization would not be the right kind of organization to contribute to because everybody wants to participate in GSOC, and therefore I would face a lot of competition in getting myself assigned a good first issue and actually solving and getting it merged. So as I just wanted to learn open source, I thought I should search for an organization which is pretty you know like not participating in GSOC, and maybe something I could find a good first issue and actually solve it. After searching for organization like what I products I use daily like Firefox and Godot game engine, like I end up on WordPress. So I end up on this organization. I look for their Android project if they have any. They had, luckily. Open the issues tab, search for good first issues in the label. I clicked on it, got some good first issues. After going through a lot of them and asking GPT to like summarize them, I end up at this issue. Sure toast with message when trying to change the primary site. So why I chose this issue? Because it was pretty simple. I was just supposed to add a toast message, which is just like one line of code. So I thought I could contribute to it. So let's just get it assigned. So after looking at this, I told them I'm a beginner and asked for approach and please can you assign me? I got it assigned later on. So I just started working on it. So after getting the issue assigned to me, I came to the original WordPress Android uh, page, and then I started to look for the README file. So for working, there were some build instructions given, some authentication properties, and other things. So first of all, what you need to do is set up communication. This WordPress project uses Slack for communication. So I did whatever they asked me to do and end up with communication through Slack here. I joined the mobile channel and my communication was set up. After setting up the communication, I forked the project from here. After forking, you will get something like this. And to set it up locally, you have to just copy this URL and import it. It's called cloning. And then I went to the build instructions. To make it easy for me to understand, I just copied the build instructions like this to our chat GPT and asked it to explain me step by step. And what it did was like simplify it first of all. Then this command, I was like getting confused. What? Copy the sample app? What's happening here? So I asked GPT, okay, GPT, what's happening here? How to do the first step? It told me and explained me the command, which helped me. Then again, I went to the next step, local repository, local dot properties file will be created. But what actually happened that I didn't found any local dot properties file. Got this error, SDK location not found. As I get this error, I gave it. It told me that that's how you set up Android Home. I did it, but still the error was not gone because the local dot properties were not there. So I used the directions chat GPT and created a new local dot properties file. So I didn't had it. I created it because chat GPT told me. Again, one more fix because of chat GPT. So after the basic setup, I was supposed to just press the run button and the project was supposed to run, right? Well, it didn't. The grader build never finished. So the build never finished. I could never run the project and thus never able to fix it. So I asked ChatGPT about it, but it didn't help me much. So I did the next logical step someone should do, which was ask in Slack community. I uploaded photos of it and asked them that I have tried to set up it locally and it was not working. It was giving me infinite screen. Then I gave them update. I tried some methods. It didn't work much. It ran one time, but then again issue. So then I got help from Petros. He gave me some instructions on that what steps I was doing wrong. To run this project, I was copying commands from here, right? I was copying vanilla debug. And as it was given in readme, I was just doing that. But actually, Petros told me that you shouldn't use vanilla, you should use Wasp or Jalapeno. And since you have 8 GB of RAM, you can like try reduce the RAM from gradle.properties file. And then it hit me. The issue was because of my low RAM. So how do I fix that low RAM issue? And this first line was giving me issue. He told me to change it from minus, it was by default it was minus 6 GB, which means use 6 GB of RAM to allocate heap memory while running the Android Studio. But since I had in total 8 GB, it may have been allocating more memory than I have available. So I have to reduce it. Firstly, I didn't understand how to do that. So I asked ChatGPT to explain me the line and it explained me that it is currently using 4 GB. Then I asked it, I have 8 GB of RAM, what would you recommend setting? So it told me you can use minus 60. Then I thought, like, I have 8 GB of RAM and this gradle.properties file actually optimizes it. So maybe there is some other step I can do. So I kept asking, give me configuration settings to build large Android Studio projects in 8 GB RAM. It gave me some settings like minus 6G. I have already done 8 GB one. Then there was a caching command. I looked through it and caching was on, so I didn't do anything else. Then there was parallel processing. I was like, okay, parallel processing, it was already on, so I didn't do anything again. And then it came to this one. What does this work count do? So it was used for parallel processing, and I remember that I have a hexa-core processor on my laptop, so I gave ChatGPT that I have Ryzen 5 4600 hexa processors, 6 core, 12 threads. Can you give me some tip for it? It told me to like set it to 6 or 8. So what I did, I set it to 4 and tried to run it again. And surprisingly, the run which was taking initially an infinite time, which means it was never running, to 1 hour. I was waiting for 1 hour to just run the project and make a little bit of changes to it reduced it to 1 minute 30 seconds. And that was a great improvement, and it was happening because I asked ChatGPT about it. That's how I got this to run. So after finally able to run the app on my phone, I thought of working on the issue. The expected behavior, the message, I copied it, and I asked GPT that I'm working on an open source project. Can you help me fix it? So I just read that account setting was there. So I told it that account setting part mobile app UI, this issue. Then I just copied what Ajesh wrote in the issue. I copied it, gave it to GPT, and asked how to find it. So to find an issue, it told me several things, and one of them was code search. Then I searched for it, and in between I thought, why not just give ChatGPT structure of the code so that it could help me find where exactly the issue is located. So for doing that, I went to the original readme file. There was structure given, directory structure of the app. I copied it, passed it to GPT, and then it told me that I should look for primary site, which is the issue I have to fix, primary site. So it told me to look for this feature in main/java file, and something related to account section. So I just search for my primary site. So after searching on, and I knew that it was in account section, so I find this account setting view model. I clicked on it, so I got to this page, which was account settings view model. Now from my knowledge of Android development, I knew that this might be where I could find the issue. So I looked again. There was primary site, username, web address, change password. So okay, there was an email, this password. So maybe the issue is here. So after looking more, I found this place, which was primary site setting UI. So I knew that the issue was to show a toast message when I have only one site in primary site. And here something.size was comparison. So I asked ChatGPT about it. I copied this code that I found this code in account settings view model. Can you help me solve the, like, I just copied the issue again, and it seems to understand and gave me some logic. And then I asked where to add this code. You gave me logic where to add it, and it told me that you have to add this code in like appropriate place, which was like fragment or activity. So from my knowledge, I found the fragment. So here the code might be where I have to add it. I got the code, I kind of copied the code and told GPT first that I will pass you the code, account setting fragment, and tell me where to write this code that you gave me. Okay, so and it was waiting for code. I copied whole file, then I told it again and again and some back and forth. After that, I got it to write me the code, and it stopped in between. And I told it again that just give me the code where you have made the changes. So it gave me the code where it made changes. I copied the code and pasted it here. And that's how, after testing it, it worked. And after running through checks, I committed the code, created a pull request. Firstly, it failed. I failed because simply I forgot to add a space here. And then after committing that change, my pull request got merged. And that's how I did my first open source contribution to WordPress using ChatGPT. If you liked it, please subscribe.